Our top story: after the Pooler City Council postponed a vote on a zoning change for the proposed district project, developers are back with a revised plan.
The multi-use project, which has faced pushback from residents concerned about traffic and flooding, includes more than 1,000 multifamily homes. WSAV's Isabella Baez was at today's meeting. She is joining us with what happened.
Well, Tina, why do they keep coming back? That was the question developers answered in front of Pooler officials and the public. They say it's because they believe the district will fill a void in the city of Pooler. However, officials say while it's a beautiful concept, they can't see it being built in the city.
Everything that you guys have currently is, I call it vanilla ice cream. Okay, it's you may have 3 flavors, but it's all public brand.
A large mixed-use project called the District was once again a hot topic at Monday's Planning and Zoning meeting. This project is intended to be developed around one of Pooler's busiest intersections, Pine Barren Road and Pooler Parkway. The proposal includes more than 1,000 multi-use homes, retail stores, restaurants, hotels, and parks.
This is a 18-hour day thing. It's when people get up in the morning, go for a walk, or go to a coffee shop, or end up at the end of the night when there's a concert or some stand-up group or whatever's happening in the green space.
Just around a month ago, Pooler City Council decided to postpone their vote on this project due to what they called a lack of information. On Monday, the developers presented their revisions, including a traffic study and a plan to phase out the construction.
We won't build all the residential and then not build anything else, or not do any of the traffic improvements. Everything will be done in phased approach, so everything is a mixed use, not a mix of uses on the property.
Some residents spoke out in favor of the project, saying it gives the community a place to take their family.
It gives us a chance to have a place to gather, a place to be, walk in the green spaces, have a place to end up, hang out with friends, take family.
On the other side, some say this massive development brings more traffic and congestion.
It's hotels, apartments, medical buildings. It's exactly what we already have. The citizens do not want this.
Planning and Zoning disapproved this project once before, and Monday they also voted to disapprove, saying it is partially due to the amount of residential homes.
Motion passes to recommend denial.
One Pooler official suggests that the developers go back to the drawing board to see if they can create this project without the multi-family component. Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Isabella, thank you. We are hearing from the Beaufort County Sheriff tonight about safety proposals being considered by the Hilton Head Island Town Council. During a public meeting today, the sheriff spoke out against a plan to ban large groups from gathering in public spaces.
This recommendation for what has been done came from y'all, didn't come from us. I think it's unconstitutional. It's not enforceable by us. It will not be enforced by us.
Those comments by Sheriff P.J. Tanner led the Public Safety Committee to table that idea indefinitely. But the main event was the proposed teen curfew, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. during the summer months of May through August. It aims to keep anyone under 18 off the beach unless they are with a parent, working, or in an emergency. This is a reaction to the mass shooting on Coligny Beach, which injured 8 people and led to the arrest of 7 suspects, all 17 to 19 years old. While the sheriff said he is in favor of this plan, he doesn't believe it goes far enough.
That your commitment to this is consistency, consistency, consistency. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, your curfew is in place. To water it down and say, I only want to have it during the months of May, June, July, and August, and I only want it, to do certain things, there's no consistency in that.
Sheriff Tanner also floated the idea of an island-wide curfew, not just beaches, but parks and other public areas. The committee also had questions of their own about enforcement, possible penalties, and more in the current proposed ordinance, but called this discussion a good first step. In the end, the town and the sheriff's office will continue tweaking the plan, and no exact date was set to bring it to council.
2 people are in custody accused of stealing from a Chatham County cemetery. Authorities say 39-year-old Alicia Hart and 47-year-old Kenneth Jinks took vases from headstones at Magnolia Memorial Gardens to sell them for scrap metal. Investigators believe as many as 150 vases may have been stolen from the cemetery in the last 18 months. A warrant is out for a 3rd suspect in this case, 35-year-old Doris Friday. Well, one person is dead, 2 others hurt after a car crash in Bullitt County. Georgia State Patrol tells WSAV Janiyah Everett lost control of her car on a curve near Old River Road South and Old Flat Road yesterday. The car overturned and 2 passengers were thrown out. Everett was pronounced dead at the scene. The passengers were taken to the hospital for treatment.
In the wake of several wildfires and structure fires, WSAV spoke with the Bullitt County Fire Department about what you need to know to protect your home or business. Bullitt County 911 received more than 1,000 calls about fires during the month of July. Fire Prevention Chief Joe Carter shared some basic safety tips, such as being mindful of lithium-ion batteries and not overloading extension cords. He says the #1 prevention tactic is to make sure there's a working safety equipment in your home.
The #1 thing is have working smoke alarms. Smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms are obviously a first line of defense that make you aware if you're not aware that there's a fire in the residence. Gives you an early warning to get out. I would also encourage people to have ABC extinguishers on hand. Put those in your residence so that you've got that if you have a small issue.
Bullitt County remains under a burn ban. A violation could result in a $1,000 fine or 60 days in jail.
Liberty County parents are sharing their terrifying experience after their children were placed on the wrong school bus. The students were dropped off at the wrong stop, miles away from their home. According to district leaders, 6- and 7-year-old had tags on their book bags with transportation information, yet they boarded the wrong bus and got off at an unknown spot. After wandering for almost 2 hours, they were found by a complete stranger and later returned to their parents, Cheyenne Knowles and Evan Welter, who say the children were confused and they were devastated.
Luckily, she was a kind person and gave them water because it's so hot outside, and gave them, some shelter for the meantime and called the police.
But anything could have happened though.
Yeah.
And district officials say a thorough review of their transportation and dismissal procedures, as well as Friday's incident, is ongoing. You can read the full statement on WSAV.com.
WSAV is your local election headquarters. Tomorrow, polls will open for South Carolina's special Republican primary for U.S. Senate. This election will decide which Republican candidate will be the nominee to replace the late Senator Lindsey Graham on the November ballot. Remember, to vote in this election, you must not have taken part in the June Democratic primary. Polls will open tomorrow from 7 to 7. If a runoff election is needed, it will be held Tuesday, August 25th. The winner of this special Republican primary will face the Democratic candidate, Dr. Annie Andrews, in November.
And in Georgia tomorrow morning, Republican U.S. Senate candidate Mike Collins will be in Savannah for a breakfast meet and greet. He will be at the Palmetto Clubhouse at 8 a.m. That is in the Landings neighborhood of Skidaway Island. Registration is still open if you would like to attend. Collins faces incumbent Democratic Senator John Ossoff in November. You can stay up to date with the latest political happenings in both Georgia and South Carolina anytime on our website. Visit WSAV.com/election HQ.
One of the most prominent military bases in South Carolina got a name change to honor the late Senator Lindsey Graham and his military contributions. State and national leaders traveled to the joint base for the renaming ceremony today, and Emma Charles in Charleston with the latest.
I'm here at Joint Base Charleston, now named Joint Base Lindsey Graham, named after the late senator who served in the Air Force and was a prominent advocate of the U.S. military.
Dedicated his life to serving this state and serving the armed forces of the United States.
Today at Joint Base Charleston, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was joined by Governor Henry McMaster, Acting Senator Darlene Graham, and Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, recognizing the late senator and Air Force veteran for his service.
Lindsey loved the Air Force. He loved its mission. He loved wearing the uniform of his country. His interest in foreign affairs and national security started with his service in the Air Force.
Graham served in the United States Air Force for years as an attorney and later stateside as staff judge advocate. He received a Bronze Star for his service. Even after he was elected to the Senate in 2003, Graham continued his military service until he retired in 2015.
I don't know if Lindsey was ever in combat, but he was close to it, and he knew exactly what it entailed. He'd probably been around the world more than anybody else from our state lately. And clearly, he had the spirit and strength
of all true warriors.
In Washington, Graham was a prominent advocate for the U.S. military, securing hundreds of millions of dollars in funding for U.S. military operations. In just the last year, the senator secured $33 million in federal funding for Joint Base Charleston, which is home to one of the Air Force's largest fleets of C-17s and plays a major role in global operations.
Those gray tails that say Charleston, now when they land in far-flung places, will say Graham.
Air Force criteria states that bases should be named after, quote, the most deserving individuals who bring honor to the Department of the Air Force and reflect the local goodwill of the community.
If you're a veteran who is looking for a job, the South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce has a program. It is designed to help former military members on their next mission. The agency is highlighting a free program for veterans. It's designed to help place military men and women back in the workforce, and veteran Curtis McCrae says the program aims to help former military members find jobs based on skills gained while in the service, and even host job search workshops.
We have, in many of our positions, there are prior military, so you're talking to someone who probably already been through those steps, and they will help you transition, and we will help you every step of the way as you transition and get employed. And we have empathy for all our military personnel as they transition out.
The program also offers personal coaching, help with resumes and interview preparation. We have more information on our website, including a veteran portal where you can find current job openings.